Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Chanel Chaney,
And I am Elijah Sloan,
and this is Politik'n East of the River.
where culture meets accountability,
Community meets strategy.
and the community finally gets a microphone.
Okay.
Word. Good to see you.
Yeah, likewise.
I'm happy to be here. I know this has been a long time coming together, talking about putting together a podcast. There is no timing perfect than now. You know, next week is the election. There's a lot of things taking place in the city, not just about the mayor, but this is a chance to take power and charge back to the whole party. You know, so how you doing east of the river?
Oh man, I think that is a loaded question. But as of right now, I am currently running for board a committee woman. We made the ballot for the Free DC slate. And part of the reason why I'm running is because of the way things is going in Rhode, right? I'm tired.
No, I feel you on that. I know I've been getting a lot of people asking me, like, you know, why you and why politics? And I kind of even ask myself, why me and why politics? And my little funny slogan I say is that, well, if the math was mathing, algebra wouldn't be needed in the race. You know, for real, like if the math wasn't math, then a person who's been sitting here on the ground, doing the work, observing the work, observing the disjustices, wouldn't be up front saying, hey, a change got to come. You know, I think it's very interesting too when you even think about the Free DC slate. It's a lot of change makers, a lot of people who've been on the ground, who gotten dirty, who's tired, and saying that enough is enough and a change must come.
Absolutely, yes. Yes, definitely. This Free DC slate is full of, I feel like, advocates outside of like what you say, but also advocates who are just like diehard advocates, and they are really for community, really about seeing community move forward and be progressive. So I'm definitely here for it. And the fact that we're doing it together.
I love the aspect of togetherness. You know,
Yes,
I always say
people
that
over power.
people over power. You know, I always say healing takes community.
Yes.
You know, so we can come together and heal and make a change as a community. But with that being said, like DC is known to be like a very quote unquote old head city. It's traditional. This is how it's been. This is how it's gonna be. This is how it is. Don't say nothing. This is a whole group that's different. That's much younger. How do you feel the energy is going to be received?
I think that the energy so far has been received very well. I think that people are ready for new leadership. People are ready for young leadership. People are ready for some new energy, right? I think what has happened, I know one of the main reasons for me, like being a mom of 5, living east of the river, our voices too often are left out of the rooms and from at the table, right? So I think right now is the best time for us to be having our voices in the room and at the table with all of these major cuts being done, from Medicaid to food stamps to TANF to even a lot of the social programs that we use to help us progress in life, like those are being cut. So our voices are needed at the table. Our advocacy is needed more now than ever, because DC has created, the government has created so many programs that have wasted money. And we are still just trying to basically survive, right? We haven't even moved into a place of thriving. So for me, it's like, and then the resources that are being held aren't making it back into the community. And the more I'm getting into this, the more I'm saying, like, wow, we really have access. But the access isn't making it back to community because we're hoarding the resources. We are keeping the resources for self-preservation. And that isn't community to me. And to me, that's also why we're falling short. And we have the most programs than any other, and we're not even a state, than any other state. But yet our numbers aren't down for violence. You know, our poverty is still, our numbers aren't down for poverty. Like, things are still the same.
Yeah, I think Baltimore is laughing in our face right now. I don't know if you've been seeing the statistics, but Baltimore, their crime rates has been going down over and over and over. Their murder rates is going down over and over and over.
Man.
Meanwhile, here we are.
Yeah.
And we call ourselves the nation's capital, right?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting too. So
And a $19.2 billion budget. I mean, it might have went down now because of the cuts, but I'm just
catch
saying.
that though.
$1
Clock it
billion
how the folks say clock it. A
yes.
$19.2 million budget. Yeah, there's a deficit within the people. You know, so when it comes to the equal, what's the D word? Distribution. There we go.
Yes.
When it comes to the equal distribution of wealth, it's clearly not happening. So I don't know if I said it on camera today, but I myself am running for Ward 8 DC Democratic Committee man. You yourself are also running for Ward 8 DC Democratic Committee woman. And one of the reasons why I think that position is important, the reason why I chose to run for that position, is simply to be that voice. You know, I realize that there's decisions taking place in rooms that are not making it to even my doorstep, and I consider myself to be someone aware, consider myself to be someone active. Yet, why am I not been aware of the decisions that's been made, of things that's coming to play? So showing up for that, making sure that there's a voice in the room and not just a voice that can afford it. You know, in DC, if you can afford a voice or if you know the right person, then you can get a voice. But if that's not the case, then you ain't got no voice.
That's right.
You know, so I'm definitely showing up to make sure that there's a voice. Not only a voice for the people, but also for the land. You know, even us being east of the river, they're talking about building something on the Anacostia River where they're giving land access and all this stuff. And it's going to be a great destination for healing east of the river. Yeah, there's folks east of the river who's been doing healing on the ground, who's been tending to the same land that you want to break up, you know, that's been ignored. You know, so how can we make things right? You know, how can we make things equitable?
Yes.
I was about to use that next word. When it comes to the people, you know, and again, not just the people who can afford their voice to be heard. You know, I don't see enough politics being on the ground in a grassroots way. I live right here in 16th and U. I call it a marketplace because there's a little bit of everything taking place in 16th and U. You know, it's like a beautiful village in my concept. But I don't see enough people going to those people on the street, actually educating them, actually talking about them. We're doing something for the first time ever called ranked choice voting. Do people even know what a ranked choice vote is? You know, especially for something been implemented and I call it last minute in the game. Something that can shift and change everything. Where if you're not paying attention, your 1 and 2 can create a whole disaster or can create something good, beautiful. You know, but the people don't know. And the way that we're getting out information. The way that the people are only engaged when it's time for a vote. But when that vote is over, folks disengage with those people. You know, so seeing things like that. And for me, I've been in DC now for about 20 years, but I'm not a native. So coming from a place that is a state and watching how statesmen run, and for my opinion, watching how the government is running over the people of this city.
I know one of the things that really concerns me, right, is our wrecks. Right now, we're inside one of the brand new wrecks, which is Ketchum. And while Ketchum may have some program, a lot of our wrecks east of the river don't have the same programming as like the wrecks uptown, right? The wrecks uptown outside of sports. You might have cheer, you might have football, but we don't have no consistent programming happening throughout the year in east of the river for our youth. We don't have no real consistent programming in general. Like we have pop-ups 6 weeks here, 8 weeks there, but we don't have nothing that's like consistent. And I think that needs to be like, I have to send my kids way up Columbia Heights to enjoy the rec because I'm scared to send my kids to a Bury Farms rec or Fort Stanton rec. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, my main goal is for my kids to be safe. And the idle mind is the devil playground. And if it's nothing for them babies to do, then it's a lot for them to get into. So it's just like being mindful of, I know I'm raising my kids one way, but we still have to send them into environment. And environment plays a big part because kids don't care about impressing the grown adults around them. They care about impressing each other. So you know, again, just being a mom and just having to advocate. Like, I remember even when Cure the Streets, they was first about to bring Cure the Streets to the community, I was at that community meeting advocating, because a lot of people didn't want Cure the Streets to come into the community. But I'm like, my kids was going to Henley at the time, in between 4th Street and 6th Street, and they was beefing hard. My kids' school was shut down 47 times that year. Not one person came to visit them kids. They didn't come make sure them kids was okay. And after, through advocacy, next thing you know, we had a peace walk for the kids. We had OAG showing up for the kids. We had people showing up, because a lot of times our communities are neglected. Nobody's not paying attention to what's going on, because a lot of things have been normalized, not knowing that us in these very communities, we're tired of it too. We don't want to continue it either, but we don't have the resources to make the changes that we need to make. So again, making sure them resources hit the community the way they supposed to, having accountability for those who are supposed to be serving our communities, and making sure that we are getting the best benefit, because they're coming into our community with $1 million budgets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And yet we still trying to figure out how we gonna eat at night.
So what healing got to do with it? You know, and I say that in my Tina Turner voice. What healing got to do with it? With the disparities that you're mentioning that's taking place east of the river,
Yes.
the things that's taking place with you that you're experiencing as a mother east of the river, right? We speak about programmings and not enough programming taking place at rec, or these programs might not be safe. And so I hear you. But what healing got to do with this? What my healing got to do with politics?
That's so interesting. So it's funny, because before I was on my healing journey, I really didn't care about politics. I didn't believe in politics. I didn't think politics was even a real thing. But through advocacy, the more I started to like heal my nervous system, heal my mind, heal my body, the more I started to move into a place of thriving, right? And as I'm moving into a place of thriving, I'm seeing the inequities the further you go. So it's like, how can you even move up when it's like you being dragged 2 steps back? So from what you call it, I want to say blackballing, but that's not the word. Redlining. You know what I'm saying? Trying to move east of the river. I remember when I was buying my car, and they had me at the dealership for like 5 hours. And the lady told me, she just broke down, was like, I'm gonna be real, it's where you live at, where you coming from. She told me about redlining and like what that is, and like looking for apartments, trying to move uptown coming from east of the river. Like, most times they don't really be trying to let you move up there if they know you coming. Like, redlining is a real thing, right? So all of these different barriers that you start to realize is playing a part, and you being able to move up to a place of thriving, it made me start to be like, okay, well, let me start to advocate about this. Oh, this bill coming out, and this bill can be harmful towards community, or it could be harmful towards what I'm trying to do as a small business owner, or what I'm trying to do in my community to help them heal. And so we had to start to use our advocacy to combat what they were trying to do in the community. So that's what healing got to do with it. It brings us into an awareness that politics isn't everything.
You used the language. You said this bill could be harmful for the community. Just the idea that there's somebody at the table that's paying attention and saying, hey, this bill don't make sense. That this thing that y'all creating is actually causing harm.
Yes.
You know, I think that's the reason why, again, we need more people who have actually been on the ground, elected into office.
Yes.
Not just people who have an idea. You know, even myself.
I was just about to ask you, so what healing got to do with it?
Now, real talk, even myself, I've been in historic Anacostia now for 11 years. And I remember when I first moved here, the elder set me down and said, before you come into this community, telling this community what it needs, first, we need you to study this community. You know, and I thought it was going to be quick. Okay, Lord, I could sit around for 6 months. Turns out it ended up being years that I had to sit with grace and a population of people that I might not totally understood. And give them grace, give them humanity, give them sight and presence. And then from there, understand what they need. Oh, now I know what food you need. Now I know what soup you need. Now I understand what it is I need to cook for you. You know, but not just coming out from an outside space with my own agenda, telling people who are naturally here that they don't supposed to be here, or what they're doing here is not natural for me. You know, as an outsider, I don't think we realize just how much gentrification shows up. And gentrification is not necessarily always black and white. You moving into a neighborhood and being able to afford your rent is a gentrifier. Because there's people who've been in this neighborhood for a long time, and now they cannot afford their rent because you're moving here. You know, so even give grace to things. I used to talk about this on a listserv. You know, I had a rowdy mouth because I saw people in their privilege be comfortable talking about people underprivileged. And I had to call those things out. Why do I think healing matters when it comes to politics? For one, if you're not clear, anybody can sell you anything.
That part, come on
You
now.
know, so you don't know what it is and what it ain't. Also, too, if people got you codependent on a handout, then whatever they serving you feels like it's good.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people have been served things that don't make sense, but it's been made edible, so they trying to digest it. Bad for the gut, but they still trying to digest it because someone told them it was edible. You know, I'm a strong believer that that folks can't heal because they have to worry about their bills. So we also are in a culture east of the river, right, full of black and brown people. We're talking about healing. We're talking about being able to, when we speak about healing, going back to the youth, there are youth in the household that are dealing with parents having mental health breaks, and yet they have to get up every day, get their siblings ready for school, and still show up. You know? But we're not talking about that. We're complaining about the curfew. We're complaining about youth looking for a safe space to have fun. We're complaining about youth stealing cars, but we're not talking about how the fact that we're ignoring the call of the youth. You know what I mean? So I think healing is necessary. I feel like mental, if I can give you the tools to free yourself mentally, if I can give yourself the tools to free yourself emotionally, meaning you're being able to forgive your own mess ups. You're even able to forgive that they place you in a space to be disadvantaged, and you're able to rise up to be the advantage. You know, but if we're able to begin to give folks the tools for this, then people can choose their own ascension. I'm still cool in understanding that life is about free will. So even the things that I think is necessary doesn't mean someone else has to choose it or elect it just because I find it to be peaceful for me. You know, but if we can give people a choice better than just the options that they have, then they'll begin to realize the power of their own choice.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And it just takes it back to, again, shifting power into the people, and people over power versus power over people. And I mean, and one thing I will say is that I wanted to make sure that people know is that this is one of the biggest elections we've had in about 10 years. We have a mayor that's up for election. We have two at-large seats. We have Eleanor Holmes Horton, who's been in her seat for like the last 17 years. She's retiring. Anita Bonds is retiring. Yeah, so this is one of the biggest elections we've had in a long time, and we really, really want people to be paying attention and to get out and vote because, like you said, with ranked choice voting, and if we don't vote at all, then there's a chance that, you know, we can miss the mark. But one thing I will say about ranked choice voting that I really, really, really love is the fact that candidates now have to win with 51+% of the vote. So nobody get to win with just like 20 votes or just 2 votes. Now you get to win in a fair way, basically.
So break it down for me. Since we both were running for Ward 8 position, Democratic committee man and woman, I feel like there's a total of 4 seats open, right? So 2 committee men, 2 committee women, right? That's elected. So
and then 2 at large, and then 1 national and 1. Yeah.
So if there was a voting thing, right? So someone was to vote for you, there was a vote for someone else who's running for committee woman, there was a vote for me, and there's a vote for another man, but they ranked it a certain way. They might have had you at number 1, the next lady at number 2, me at number 3, the next brother at number 4. How does that play in?
So from what the committee man will be in their own category, and the committee woman will be in their own category. So they will be able to rank you 1. And then whoever else their next candidate as committee man, they'll be able to rank him 2nd or 3rd. And then with committee woman, same thing. They'll be able to rank me 1st, and then rank whoever their 2nd choice or 3rd choice is. They'll be able to rank them 2nd or 3rd. And whichever one of those 3 choices that you pick get 51% plus of the votes, that's who win. So if your first choice, if you make me your first choice and I don't win, but your second choice win, you still got somebody you wanted to see in office, right? Because you ranked them. You see, you was able to rank your favorite candidates versus having to just pick one candidate and you got the rest of them, but you might really like the rest of them, and now you got a chance to put them on the ballot.
Word. All right, so for the everyday person, right, who don't always vote, who might only vote for special things, they might vote when legalization of weed is on the bill, so everybody gonna get out the bed to vote that day, right?
Yeah.
For the everyday person east of the river who's tired of being overlooked, who feel like their voice has not been heard, who feel like voting don't even matter, doesn't even matter if I vote or not, what could you say, or what is needed to be said in order to encourage those folks to send in their mail-in ballots to come out next week, to make it to the poll early, to show up to the poll at all? Like,
Yes.
your people here that looks just like you, what words you have?
I will say a lot of us on the slate are just everyday working people, right? Like, we're not politicians. We are just people who want to see our community better. So if you want to see people that look like you, that care about you, that is inclusive about you, then I say you should get out and vote.
I like that. I say get up, get out and do something.
Okay. Period. Mike's drop.
And because we need you. Again, I'm here. Whether I want to be here or not, I'm called to be here, and that matters. A change gotta come, you know? So even if you're not sure all of who you want there, you know, the beautiful part about a slate, to vote for a slate, is that they have a lineup of everybody who's been vetted. You know, even when it comes to Free DC Slate, I feel like we have a community resume out there, so you can understand all the impact that we've been doing. And you can be like, hey, I'm gonna go full DC Slate. You know, they got somebody in place that's good for at large. They got somebody in place, you know, that's good for all these positions and all these wards, you know. They did the work, you know. And at the same time, too, sometimes you need things to be shaken up. And that's the reason why I love that the people are running for position. You know, because who else can tell the people other than the people? You know, and right now these people have a lot on their minds. We have a lot on our hearts. We have a lot to say. And we have a lot of knowledge. So just because we're not necessarily politicians doesn't make us not educated. I want to throw that part out there too.
That's
so
right.
just because we're not politicians does not mean we don't have experience. Does not mean we don't know what we're doing.
What community needs.
Listen,
you know what I'm saying?
you know, because sometimes too, I noticed in terms of campaigning, many people will try to disqualify me based on what they thought they knew about me, which is scary. Y'all be careful with that type of supremacy, you know. But based on what they thought about me, they made assumptions about my qualifications. I even had someone who should have been a brother, you know, say, well, I've never seen you at certain meetings, or
meetings that we don't know are happening, that they don't make sure the community know is happening. Do you know who your ward committee person is? Because you
met
have
him?
one right now. I bet you don't.
And even someone says that to be a committee man is different than just being a community healer. Even that was dismissive. We ain't even gonna talk about that. But it was just like, oh, word, thank you for sharing your fear of my presence on this here ballot, you know? But get out to vote east of the river. You know, for this first podcast, Politik'n East of the River, we really kind of wanted to throw it out there. I'm running for DC Democratic Ward 8 Committee man. She's running for DC Ward 8 Democratic Committee woman. This means that you must be a Democrat in order to vote. You know, if you're an independent, can't do nothing for you. If you're a Republican, can't do nothing for you. So we're saying that we have chosen a party that we believe will go out there and make a difference. You know, so if you haven't, update your voter's registration. Make sure that you're registered at the address that you're at. If you're independent, because there's been times that I've chosen to be independent, make a choice this time. Make a choice. Make a choice. Do something. You know, choose us. But most importantly, it's about being a voice. I want to make sure that people are knowing what's been spoken about at the table, especially if their name is in someone else's mouth. You know, I want to make sure that the land that's here, you know, the land that we can barely afford to pay our rents, and yet they can afford to keep building new buildings. So I'm trying to understand. You got housing. Anyway, I just want to make sure that it's represented, and it's represented accurately and represented well. And I'm not afraid to let you know what decisions have been made to invite you to be at the table too.
I see.
You know what I mean? I want you to be aware of my presence. I want you to not be afraid of coming to me and asking me a question, or even let me know a room I might need to be in. You know, but we here. I'm here for the people.
I see.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
And right now in Ward 8, we need some folks who ain't afraid of using their mouth. You know, that's why we're here, but the people finally got the microphone, right?
Yeah.
And we making sure that not only are we the microphone, but we're giving the microphone to the people.
I see.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say on this amazing first episode we did together?
No, just go out and vote.
Word, go out and vote. And be sure to tune in too. You know, during this time of election, we're gonna also bring other amazing people to the stage so you can have conversations with you. We can have open conversations with them. And we can just see what's really shaking here east of the river and beyond. Word.
All right.
Cool. Peace, folks.